My name is Dennis Deloach, and I want to welcome you to the Uncle Jim Effect podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And let's get started. Today, we are on episode number 44. In this episode, we're going to talk about mindset. And mindset, the roadmap to success. What is mindset? What does it look like? How do you improve it? And why worry about it? First of all, I want to say thank you for taking the time to do this. Would you please subscribe to our podcast and like below? Leave any comments you have, and we'll make sure we get to those and respond. So let's get started on mindset, the roadmap to success. So I want to share, as we always do, first a quote that I think has a lot to do with this. We're going to go to one of those great philosophers of all time. Yes, that would be Captain Jack Sparrow from the movie series Pirates of the Caribbean. And Captain Jack said this: the problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. And think about that for a minute. So, anytime we encounter a problem in life, the problem is not the problem. The problem is how we encounter that problem, what kind of attitude we look at that problem with. And let's dissect that for a minute. I think one of the main things that quote is trying to say is, look, you're going to face problems every day, all day, in every area of your life. So the problem isn't the problem. Get used to it, that's more the norm than the problem. The problem is, what is your attitude? So if you are continually looking at problems that come, and by the way, we know they're going to come, if every time they're coming, we keep saying, woe is me, and I can't believe that happened, then that's the problem. The problem is how we look at the problem, and the problem is our attitude about the problem. So let's keep that in mind as we go throughout this and be thinking about what your attitude is in each one of these situations. So, I want to share with you Michelangelo, the great philosopher from long, long time ago. I don't even know exactly when he was here, but a long time ago, he said, the problem human beings faced is not that we aim too high and fail, but that we aim too low and succeed. Isn't that true? So it's not that we set our goals so high and we fail, right? That's what we've talked about all this whole time, about a 10x goal. If we aim high, we have to think of different ways to accomplish that than we're used to doing. Our main problem in life is that we aim too low and we actually succeed. So in our mind, we think, oh, I'm so glad that I increased by 5% or 10%, which is okay. But if it's worth our time, it's worth setting a 10x goal. And a 10x goal, if it doesn't scare you to death on some level, it's not big enough. So let's get started. Let's define what mindset is. And I think there's four areas that I've kind of narrowed this down. And we could think of a lot more areas, but basically four areas of what I want to define mindset is. And mindset is the driving force in the quest we have to succeed or to achieve something. It's a driving force. What is our mindset? That what is it? What do we think? What do we do? What is our process? It's also a belief or a thought process. And in that, we combine our discipline, strength, confidence, and ambition. And so all of that is included in this process that we have that we call our mindset. And that this process, we can set our sights and we can accomplish anything we set our sights on if we employ this process in the correct manner and we have the correct mindset characteristics. And we'll talk about those in a minute. And then basically, finally, a powerful mind can achieve anything. I know that to be true, and you probably know that to be true on people around you or people you've read about or people you've seen. So if we know that other people have that gift, why is it that we don't believe that we do? Well, I submit to you it's because we don't have the mindset that those people have. What we're going to talk about is how do we get that mindset? How do we incorporate those processes that they have that include discipline, strength, confidence, ambition? What is it they do that's different than what I do? And let's adopt a lot of those things. So let's talk about some characteristics of a growth mindset or a mindset that says, hey, I want to get better. I want to grow. I don't want to be involved in the status quo all the time. I think the first thing we talk about in a growth mindset is that we realize that achievements come down to effort, not talent. And I think that's a big one. A lot of times people think, well, that guy or gal is accomplishing so much more than me in the areas of health or business or finance or relationships because they're so much more talented than I am. And that's absolutely not true. The first and foremost thing we have to realize about a mindset is it comes down to effort, not talent. Okay. Second thing with characteristics of a growth mindset is we have to be willing to learn from our mistakes, to not be afraid of mistakes, and to find value in the criticism or lessons we learn as we fail. So, again, we know it's a given that we're going to deal with problems in life. So that means that we're probably going to deal with failure. Failure is not failure, it is an opportunity to learn if we will use it in that mindset. If we'll have the mindset that, look, I don't care if I fail, what can I learn from that so I fail less in the future? That's what we want to do, and that's what we need to incorporate. And we need to find value in criticism. It's hard to do that. It's hard to hear people say, well, you don't know what you're doing in this area. You should be doing this, and that, especially from people that take pride in telling you how you aren't doing things right when they're not even trying themselves. But if what they're saying is true and will benefit you, then you need to pay attention to that. So, characteristics of a growth mindset, it's effort, not talent. We need to be willing to learn from our mistakes and to not be afraid to fail and to find value in criticisms. You also have to believe that your intelligence and ability can be developed. So, what ability and intelligence I have now in an area doesn't mean that's what I'm limited to. I can associate myself with mentors. I can learn. I can study. I can educate myself, and I can improve my intelligence and my abilities in a specific area that will then help my mindset become much more effective. I think that might be one of the most misunderstood and misutilized uh, concepts we have in a mindset is we think our mindset is set, and it absolutely is not. Our abilities can be improved and our intelligence can be dramatically increased if we take the time to grow and to do that. Finally, fourth, I think it's important that we are willing to ask questions. And one of the most important characteristics of a growth mindset and a successful leader are know when you don't know something and don't be afraid to ask people and to get people on your team that complement the weaknesses you have. So that is what's important about a mindset is learn what you know and what you don't know. And what you don't know, find people that are successful in that area, get their honest opinion, and then understand that that's what I'm going to do and incorporate that. So let's talk about some ways to develop a growth mindset. And again, the mindset is the driving force we have to accomplish something that we've set our mind to. It is that process that we implement to go from point A to point B. So, first thing, let's talk about 10 ways to improve or develop a growth mindset. And the first one is to identify what your mindset is. It might be fantastic, it might be very weak. Either one is okay. But the first step in identifying how to improve is to be honest and truthful. What is my mindset? Maybe your mindset is, I'm really good at starting this, but I peter out real quick. Or I'm really good at planning it, but I just don't get started. Or I'm not good at organizing, but I just get after it, but I'm making mistakes along the way. Whatever that is, once you know that, then you can determine by getting mentors or other people to help, you can then determine what areas of improvement I need help in. Second thing is we need to look at that list of improvements and work on them. So as we talk to people and say, look, this is what I see that my mindset strengths are and weaknesses. What do you see? And solicit honest feedback and be able to take the criticism. So when they say, I think it's this, and how do I improve that? And they say, these are the things I would do, then you need to be able to do that. Third thing is to review the success of others or look to people who have accomplished this and have a great mindset and don't reinvent the wheel. Success leaves clues. Find people that have success in the area you want to have success in and look at the clues they're leaving and copy them. This is a time when plagiarism is accepted. We do not need to reinvent the wheel. People that are successful in specific areas of life, I'm going to copy what they do and implement that into my own mindset. Four, seek feedback. get a coach, get an accountability partner, get a mentor, and ask for feedback uh, as you develop your mindset and move forward. Have someone give you feedback to say, yes, I think you're doing well in these areas. Honestly, this is where I think you need improvement. And ask people for honest criticism, and expect that it's coming, and be willing to have thick enough skin to handle it, and to go from there. The fifth thing, and this might be one of the most important things, is understand and harness the power of yet, meaning that I don't have that talent yet. I don't have that ability yet. I don't have that intelligence yet. I haven't had success in that area yet. Understand what that word yet means. Yet means that I am willing to take the criticism, get the feedback, work on my weakness, and down the road, I might not be uh, strong in this area yet, which means don't judge me now. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do all those things. But the word yet is very, very important for people. And I'm going to talk about a quote that kind of talks about that a little bit. And it's from Maria Robinson. It says, nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. Again, nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. That's what yet is all about. It doesn't matter. I can't go back and start over, but I can start today and make a new ending. And that's what the word yet is about. So, number 6 in 10 ways to develop a growth mindset is to learn something new. And what this does is get you out of your comfort zone. 10x goals are all about becoming comfortable being extremely uncomfortable. And that sounds like an oxymoron, but it's so true. So the best way to get out of your comfort zone is to learn something new and set a 10x goal in that area, because you need all kinds of growth and all kinds of mentorship and change and failure in that area that will then give you the practice and blueprint you need. So think of something new, get out of your comfort zone, and that's where 10x comes in. And start with little things like that, and then as we lead up to these big goals, that will work. So number 7 on the 10 ways to develop a growth mindset is to make mistakes. We talk about it in everything we do. Quit worrying about making mistakes. John Wooden, the greatest coach of all time, said, don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. So when we're talking about mistakes, I know what I'm strong in, but don't let what I cannot do interfere with what I can do, right? So a lot of people say, oh, I'm not even going to try that because I can't do that. Well, what can you do? So anytime we lead with a negative, that's absolutely setting up the grounds for failure. When we lead with a negative, such as, I can't do that, why not say, you know what? I've never done this before, but I can do the following 4 or 5 things. That ought to get me a quarter of the way there. And then I know this guy who succeeded in that area. I'm going to talk to him. I'll buy him lunch. I bet he'd talk to me. And then get going and work your way along. But don't be afraid to make mistakes, and realize that what you can do is so much more lots of times than what you can't do. And don't lead with that. People don't want to hear that. Number 8 goes in line with what we were just talking about, and that is be kind to yourself. Understand that just because you don't have talent in this area, that's not a judgmental thing. It doesn't matter, because I'm not talented in many areas, but I'm talented in some areas. Those are the areas that God wants me to succeed in. And He's given these other gifts that I don't have to people that He needs me to work with, that have that strength. And so that's what's so cool about this puzzle we call life. Is none of us are a complete puzzle picture without each other. And so don't be afraid to be kind to yourself and realize you're going to make mistakes. Okay. And number 9 in the top 10 ways, in my opinion, to develop a growth mindset is to look at examples. Again, we talk about that, but read about these top level people, have mentors, train, go to trainings. YouTube's got 10 zillion videos on anything you want to know about that will give you insight into what these people that have tremendous mindsets are. And they're willing to talk to you about it. They're willing to explain to you almost on a daily basis what they do. take notes, copy them, look at people successful in an area that you want to be successful in, and just do what they do. And then finally, the 10th way in the ways of creating a growth mindset is to set realistic goals, in the sense that these are goals I can achieve as I'm developing my mindset, but then get crazy with these 10x goals. So let's talk about that. And there's Abraham Lincoln said, the best way to predict your future is to create it. And on the face of that comment, it sounds like, yeah, that's easy to say, but I'm not Abraham Lincoln. But if you look at what he said, the best way to predict your future is to create it. If I set out to create my future, I'm pretty confident that I know what that future will be. If I sit back and wait on people to provide me with opportunity, to provide me with success, to provide me with opportunities, it is not going to happen. But if I get out there and create it by doing all of the things we've talked about over these years, set the 10x goal, associate myself with successful people, having a great mindset, doing all of these things, it will happen and I will create my future. So today, again, we've talked about mindset, the roadmap to success. The mindset is so critical because it represents the process we use to go from point A with an idea to point B, which is to execute on achieving an outcome or a goal. And we talked about all these ways to do it. It works. I know it works. And I wish you nothing but luck. So get after it, have a successful mindset, and believe that you can do anything, and it will happen. Thanks so much again. This was episode number 44. Please subscribe to the podcast below and like it. And we're on our way to creating a tsunami of hope by allowing and helping millions and millions of people to realize their God-given potential, and then to magnify that calling in the service of ourselves, our family, friends, family members, community, and we're going to change the world with that. Thank you so much. Good luck, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.